All right, on the bench today, we've got the classic 4R70W. It's the late model one. Well, it's relatively late model. It's an '08 compared to the earlier models, older than '08. Two speed sensors, an input and output sensor. This one's out of an '08 F-150 with a little 4.2 liter V6. As you can tell from the 2-bolt starter, it's V6. The V8's late model ones had 3-bolt starters. I screwed up. I don't remember what the problem was with this. Let's take it apart and see if we can guess what happened to it. Didn't look at my repair order before I started this video, so I forget what the issue was, but we'll double check the repair order once we get it apart. I feel like it was falling out of gear or something. I don't know. There's been so many cars since this one. Start flaking off and get thinner and thinner, and as they do that, they will have like delays going into gear, harsh engagements into forward gears. But you can see how it's on the outside here at the waffle pattern is not as deep there anymore, because there's almost nothing there right now. And if you look here, it's got some bumps to it. It's not even catching anything over here. See, this one is in better shape, but as you can see, it's flaking right there. So I can probably measure the, I think they're supposed to be 62 thousandths. These will probably be in the 50s somewhere from where. This one's really thin, I can feel it. Now let's see this side here. You can see here, nothing, it's not even catching. It's catching a little bit right there. Nothing over here. This thing's really thin. We can measure, I'll measure this one at the end, but this is likely what was a problem. There's just too much clearance in the drum, and it's not, this is not a computer unit. It is a computer controlled unit, but it's not a unit where the computer adapts so much. And so the computer expects a certain amount of clearance in this drum, and as the clearance grows, it can't adapt and kind of modulate the pressure amount it needs to make the clutch come on. And so you get slamming, you'll get falling out of gear sometimes. And what that'll do is actually will, on these units, will break this drum eventually. Luckily we caught this one soon enough. The drum is not cracked, which is good, but they will if they go too long. in that condition, what will happen is the seal inside here the piston will come out so far that it will cut the seal, and then you lose forward engagement altogether, and then you're stuck. So we'll measure that one last. It should be about 62, 63 thousandths. But I think that's going to be the issue with the falling out of gear I was thinking of. Got the wrong tool for this. That's the tool I want. Now you're just being mean to me. And we'll pop this little anti-clunk spring out. And check these bushings, they like to wear out. Yank out our planetary set. Okay, now watch here. This will start to wear into the case. It's the low one-way roller. It's doing its thing. Pull this band out. So this is your reverse band, and look at that. Look at that. Something going on there. I think I was dragging, or see, the drum's not really showing signs of burn up, but our band definitely is showing signs of something nasty going on. So that's a problem. These bands will lose their lining also, like the forward clutch does. It causes the same kind of situation. So I guess they just race to see who can do it first. And the direct drum, I always replace this direct drum because these splines love to strip out. These are not in terrible shape, but they will strip out and you'll lose third gear. So I just like to replace them. Makes me feel better. And those look okay. Got to check our case. No ring grooves there. Good, good, good. I'll pull these out later. There's accumulators in the reverse apply. Some direct clutches. Everybody looks happy there. Nothing to report home. This is your reverse clutch set. Called the reverse input drum. The overdrive band wraps around it. Same material of the forward clutches, but they don't seem to have the same failure rate as the forward clutches for whatever reason. I'm guessing it's a high use clutch. This is the overdrive band, intermediate clutches. Happy. So let's measure this. See, it's just there's nothing left there. So like I said, these factory should be about 62, 63. And we're measuring 54 thousandths. We've lost almost 10 thousandths on this clutch. I know it doesn't sound like a lot, 50 thousandths. But I mean, if you lose, 10 thousandths per clutch, and there's 5 of these in there, you've lost 50 thousandths in the clutch pack. That's only supposed to have maybe a clearance of 30 to 80 thousandths. Now you're pushing, you could push 100, 130, 150 thousandths in clearance. So there's 60 thousandths, so that's 58, 59. So that's up around 62. That one's probably in the middle. That's about what it should measure at. 62, 62, 63, 59, 59. So we've lost some some clearance, and you can see these clutches are in terrible shape. That is likely what's going on. We're losing. It was probably in the upper limits of what the clearance was, and then losing, 20 thousandths clearance put it over its limit, and now it's slamming into gear, falling out of gear, causing problems. And unfortunately, you can't fix that without pulling the unit out. You can't just turn a couple, springs a little tighter in there. You got to pull it out, and it's got to have new clutches put in there, unfortunately. And at that point, I'm not going to just toss 5 new clutches and put it back in his truck. Go through it and replace all the clutches, replace all the seals, and do it correctly, and make sure things are updated properly. That way, if the person wants to keep the truck, they've got a good transmission in there. So, yep, that's 470W. Thanks for watching, y'all. I'm going to get this thing cleaned up and get it back together, update the valve body, update the parts, and we'll get it back in the truck. Thank you. Postscript. I can't believe y'all let me miss this. Shame on y'all. I thought that band looked weird, didn't I? Didn't I say it looked weird? Yeah, it's missing one of the apply lugs. So this thing likely didn't have reverse. That was probably one of the main complaints. And like I said, we'll have to check I'll check the repair order again. But yeah, this is the lug that applies the servo inside here and wraps it. This is where the case lugs are, and when that wraps it in and squeezes the planter here. And yeah, I tipped the case over and this fell out. So that would explain a huge problem right there. Broken band and deteriorated forward clutches. So this truck probably had no reverse and probably a slipping or very delayed forward. Yeah, my bad. Almost missed it, which I was replacing the band anyway, so it would have been a big deal, but I should have caught that. I did catch it.